French and Friends is recommended by 4 out of 5 radio professionals. All staff are over the age of 18 and no animals were harmed in the making of this program. Contents under pressure. Do not iron clothes while wearing. If you become addicted, visit facebook.com/French and Friends.
French and Friends, 1590 WCGO, looking at Alberto Gonzalez and Eric Estevez getting a set up here on a Friday, man.
Oh, my gosh. This
oh, my
food
God.
is
Yeah.
beautiful.
Hey, buddy, you got to put the smell-o-vision on that Facebook Live, friend.
I can't wait.
Can you do that?
Working on it.
Take your time, man. No hurry. No need to rush. We got you. We're just enjoying what you're doing. Now, I see the traditional Cuban sandwich there, and then I think, is the other one the lechon? Oh, my gosh. What do you need?
No. I'm just going to tell you what we got.
Okay.
We got the guajirito, which is a steak sandwich with plantains.
Yes, sir.
We got the ropa vieja, which is very traditional. We have the Cuban sandwich, and then we have the pork sandwich. And 90 Miles does something unique. We put some sweet plantains inside to balance the flavors.
That's my favorite one.
I love it.
My spot, and I haven't seen you there yet because I'm a wimp and I show up like early Sunday morning because I'm an old man and I know you're there hanging out with all the cool people on Friday night late and Saturday night late. But that's my favorite right there.
I love it.
It's unbelievable. 90 Miles Cuban Cafe, 3 locations. The one over in Lincolnwood with the Alligator Room is the one we hit up regularly. French and Friends, 1590 WCGO. When Alberto gets set up, in no hurry whatsoever, I do want to ask him a question. You may have heard me talking about it earlier, Alberto, so we'll get to that. Kevin Burgess will bring sports to you in just a minute. Dennis Sonar Green, before we get out of here, will do some thoughts from the deep end. You game with that?
Oh, okay, sure.
All right, Eric, make yourself comfortable. Hop right in front of that microphone. Just about like this. There we go. All right. How are you, sir?
Pretty good.
Pretty. Let's crank him up a little bit. Hey, Alberto, let me see you move, man. Can you do it?
Ooh.
Oh, my God. Hey, Alberto, I may have told you this story before, but I'll tell you again. I was in, unfortunately not Cuba, because it was a little hard to get to Cuba about this time. This was, 2002, 2003, right when I got out of college. And I was in Costa Rica, because you can travel in Central America, Latin America for a lot cheaper than you can in Europe. And then you get to use a useful language instead of French or something else like that. Because the one thing we should be teaching our kids is Spanish, I think. Definitely. You remember a few years ago? Here, I'm going to pull that up a little bit. You remember a few years ago when they told us that, we need to all teach our kids Mandarin Chinese. That was the big thing. And I mean, not that it's not useful, because it is very useful. But then think about it. We have, 900 million, 1 billion people in the Western Hemisphere that speak Spanish. That's what we need to be teaching our kids.
Definitely.
That is the language.
It's our backyard.
Okay, I got a cool show for anybody out there. If you're a Spanish speaker natively or just an aficionado or you're trying to learn Spanish, it's called Club de Cuervos. Anybody a football fan here? Football fan?
Football.
Okay. Okay, Club de Cuervos. What I like to do is watch that show, and I got the subtitles. So I'm learning Spanish while I'm watching a show that's funny as hell. It's the first Spanish-speaking show on Netflix, or at least from Mexico. Anyway, what did I want to talk to you about? Because there was something. Oh, yes, I was telling you a story. Because you can dance. I can't dance. I've tried. So I was in Costa Rica, and this world-class ballroom dancer said, I can teach anybody how to dance. And I said, I want to dance, but something's wrong with me. I think I'm just too buttoned up a little bit, a little too stiff. No, I can help you. She spent an hour and a half with me and just, I'm done. I'm done. She couldn't do it. She said, I'm the only person in her life that she didn't think she could teach how to dance.
Well, you should go to 90 Miles on Friday.
I should.
Oh,
you guys, and I love what it says in Lincolnwood. What happens on Friday nights?
Well, Friday nights we have live entertainment. We got salsa, and we get anywhere from starters to professional dancers. So it's a very nice atmosphere over there.
And what's the main thing? Just probably do the opposite. And what I did is just not care how dumb you look at first.
You know what? Just enjoy it. You got to feel it. You got to feel it. It's just got to flow. If it doesn't flow, you got a problem.
We're speaking with Alberto Gonzalez, and Eric Estevez is here also. They brought in some beautiful food from 90 Miles Cuban Cafe. I was joking. I don't know if you were here yet, but do you know when something about Cuba hits the news that your phone's about to ring and all the news and TV stations are about to call you?
Listen, I love it because it's great publicity.
That
but on the same token, sometimes I'm like, off the radar, and I get the call, and I got to get dressed up to be in front of the camera. So it's a good thing. I love it, and anything to represent my country.
I understand. That's so cool. Now, what did you think? I won't say any names politically, but we did see a bit of a change. It used to be that if anybody came over here from Cuba, boom, welcome, you have asylum. That is not the case anymore. Was that a good idea or a little short-sighted?
Well, you know what? I think times have changed, and I think
That's true.
I think that we have to go with the times. I just think that the way that it was going, that they went by doing it, I don't
Uh-huh.
think it was fair because you had about 7,000 Cubans in transit.
Yeah.
What do you tell those Cubans and families that they're in transit and they're stuck in third countries?
Yeah.
So to me, it wasn't right the way they did it.
Yeah, that's what I thought. To me, I don't know. I thought it was sending the wrong message. To me, I know we're trying to be buddies and friends and nicer, and that's a good thing. But there's still a couple of issues down there. So I would have rather.
A couple.
I'm being polite, and with all the problems all around the globe, I always thought this: our neighbors, like when you live in a neighborhood, it's good to be friends with everybody, but you don't want to go across town and try to be friends with them before you know that you can get along with who's next door.
Definitely.
And there's a reason it's called 90 Miles Cuban Cafe. I mean, this should be our staunchest ally, and one day I believe it will be. Just I hope. And I don't think it's wishful thinking. Okay, what is new at 90 Miles Cuban Cafe? Because I know the food's always great. I know you've got the 3 locations that are booming. What else are you into these days?
Oh, catering. I mean, catering is a big part of our business, and now we're getting ready to open up our patio in Lincolnwood.
Yeah.
So we're going to have patios, and the entertainment is always a big thing for us. And we were talking about it. Feeling the salsa.
Oh yeah.
The soul.
Oh, yeah.
You have a mojito from 90 Miles, and you'll definitely feel it.
Nope.
I guarantee you, I'll make you a dancer if you have one of our mojitos.
Now, what's in a mojito? For
Well-
those that don't know, and there are very few of you left, what's in a mojito?
Well, mojito, a lot of people make it with simple sugar,
Uh-huh.
and 90 Miles. What we do is we use real sugar cane
Yeah.
juice, and we have the extruder, and we kind of like squeeze the sugar cane in 90 Miles. So we have rum, the simple sugar, mint, and a little splash of water.
Now, one question I have, because as I mentioned to you, the one I hit up is Lincolnwood because it's close for me. When I used to live in the city, then I was over on Armitage. But what are you doing the most business? You're doing great business at all of them, but who do you see the most people, the most tables?
You know what? It's one of those things that I think our brand speaks for itself.
That's true.
I think that all our restaurants are doing wonderful. We have a great following, and our staff does a great job. I mean, they're amazing, and I think every day they get better at their craft. And getting to know Cuban food is not easy. I mean, Italian and Mexican food, they're kind of like the mainstream, kind of like
Yeah.
American food already. So getting staff that really understands Cuban food, which is my job to teach them, it's hard. So after a year of being open in Lincolnwood and 10 years open for business, I think our staff has developed the taste, the feel, and I think we're doing great things. And the future belongs to us.
Do you think there's more desire for Cuban food? It is still kind of new to us here.
It is. A lot of people don't know the difference between Cuban food, Mexican food, and Cuban food is far from being Mexican food.
Sure.
Cuban food is a fusion of Spanish food from Spain and African food. So you mix all that together and you get the beautiful, dimensions of Cuban food.
Now, is it
go
more of a sweetness to everything, or is
I
it
do love
more
that
of a
sweetness.
spiciness, or just a blend of the two?
It's a blend. Nothing is sweet in Cuban food, but we always have the sweet plantains on the side.
Okay.
So one of the key secrets to Cuban food is that you have to have a bite of everything on the plate.
Okay.
The black beans, the rice, the meats, and the sweet plantains. You having that balance together is what makes Cuban food unbelievable.
Okay, because it's essentially an orchestra at that point, or an
Definitely.
ensemble, instead of
Definitely.
just, hey, I'm just going to have the sandwich, or I'm just going to have a couple plantain chips.
Definitely, and our staff does a great job communicating that to our guests, and our guests is, they're having a great experience, and they're coming back for more.
I want to thank you because I have gone to a couple Cuban joints. There was like one place in New Orleans that I dug, but for the most part, I'll go and try to get what I'm telling you. A long way of telling you is you've got the best that I've had.
Thank you.
These empanadas, I'll go to places and order an empanada, and I'm like, that's not what I was looking for. This is the real deal right here. The chicken one's great, and also the mozzarella. What's the mozzarella?
Yeah,
one?
we got the mozzarella, we got the beef, we got the chorizo, which is one of my favorite ones, and the chicken and beef. They're amazing.
Okay, now your garlic. What's in the garlic? You've got these wonderful. What do I mean?
Well, we got
sauces.
we got the mojo de ajo, which is garlic with bitter orange, which is great with olive oil.
I love
It's
garlic.
beautiful.
Okay,
then
and
we
when
have
you put the citrus in there, that just makes it all the better.
oh my God, that's what makes the sauce. And this right here, we go through gallons and gallons of the sauce right there. It's like we have no vampires around 90 Miles.
No, I know. I was going to say, if you're on a date, especially a first date, if one of you is going to order that or is going to dip in that, you both need to do it because it could be a short night otherwise.
Well, that's why we have men at the front desk.
Oh, beautiful. French and Friends here, 1590 WCGO. We're speaking with Alberto Gonzalez of 90 Miles Cuban Cafe. Is 3 enough for you now?
You know what? The brand is growing, and I think we're going to continue to grow. but we have a different plan. I think we're going to grow like the 90 miles from Clybourne, kind of like the smaller locations where you could go walk in, get a coffee, get a sandwich, get a bowl, and that's kind of like what's going to be our growth in the next years.
Cool. I want to ask you this. For anybody out there who has yet to take that leap for starting their own business, I know so many Cuban folks that I've known just love doing this because they can, and like they didn't have the opportunity to do it. And a lot of people who aren't third or fourth generation Americans yet. What's the key? What's the key for starting your own business?
You know what? Passion. People love when you have passion. When you have passion, it translates into food. It translates into environment, and I think that's just that's what it is. And I think that Cubans, we come to this country and we have the passion to succeed, and that's what we bring to the table every single day.
Who does the cooking? You can cook, definitely, right?
Well, I could get down. I could get down in the kitchen.
But did it come from mom?
It came from my grandmother.
Your grandmother.
So my grandmom's recipes, and then we hire individuals that had Cuban food experience, and then we kind of tweaked their the recipes and integrated mom's and grandmom's recipes in it, and we came up with great dishes, and everybody's coming back for more. So I think we're killing it.
You never go just once. You're coming back. Come here, Kevin, real quick. French and Friends, this is Midwest Sportscaster of the Year nominee Kevin Burgess. Alberto, you got to wish him luck. He is up against some of the premier sportscasters in the Midwest, and hopefully he's going to bring the title home. Isn't that cool? I want to ask you, what's your favorite? Oh, you're already eating?
Yeah.
Okay, is that your favorite? What is your favorite dish at 90 miles? What do you get?
You know what I really like is the calamari dish that they have. And they put a little bit of the ink in it so it's black, and it really throws you off at first. I had to take some convincing for my wife to try it, but when she did, she loved it. And it's my favorite thing I get when I go there.
You know what? It's one of my most returned dishes.
Yeah.
Because they're scared?
And the reason why is because when people get it, they see the black ink and they get scared. So I got to talk to them and I kind of sell them into it. And the ones that taste it, I definitely sold them. So my one of my chefs, he wanted to change the sauce and put a red sauce in it instead of the ink. And I go, no, even if I have to take it back, the black ink stays.
Yeah.
And that's the way we do it.
It's like a signature. It's great. And the flatbread that comes with it, phenomenal. Absolutely my favorite thing. I get it every time I go there.
Thank you.
Yeah, this pulled pork or the pork sandwich is great. Because,
which one?
This guy right here
with the plantains.
The pork sandwich with the plantains.
That's
I love that for two reasons. First off, it's absolutely delicious.
Thank you.
And the second one is it's practically the only thing I could pronounce on the menu.
Lechon sandwich.
Exactly.
Okay, you have children, right?
Yes, I do.
How many?
2.
How old?
19 and 16.
Oh, okay. Can they cook?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. What are they up to now? 19.
Well,
that's that age.
My son is in New York studying business, and my daughter is about to graduate next year.
Good man. All right. Are they considering the family business? Obviously, your son is going to school first. Maybe restaurant business. I know it's tough.
Well, my daughter, I think she's going to take after my footsteps. I think that she has the culinary passion, and I think she's developed a feel for it.
I don't think I asked you this last time. When's the last time you went to Cuba?
I haven't been back since 1980 when I left.
Okay. And obviously there's reasons for that because you can't, or you got big problems, right?
Well, there's plenty. Cubans have to go back with, especially me, I got to go back with a Cuban passport, and I'm an American citizen. So why can't I go as an American?
Right. So soon enough, you will be able to as an American. You just go as an American.
Yeah, but the Cuban government will not allow you to do that. They want you to go in with a Cuban passport.
Okay. So they know who you are. Even if you come with an American passport?
They know everything about you.
What a pain in the ass, isn't it? Oh, man. One thing that'll always stick with me is all governments lie, but, I mean, apparently some just a little more than the others.
3.
Didn't Raul Castro say he's going to give it up?
Yes, he is, and the new guy has some challenges.
Okay, so do we know who the new guy's going to be then?
Yes, we do. I don't remember.
Okay, that's okay. But was he a military guy or the fellow who was not as involved? I remember a few months ago reading about this, and at the time it was up in the air on who it might be.
He's not a military guy.
Okay, well that's a good thing, I would imagine. Okay, so hopefully I think in the next, I don't know what it's going to take, but in the next few years we can just do this thing.
Let's see.
This will be a hell of a party, is it not?
Absolutely.
Okay. What else is going on today? Next up in the show, speaking of the wonders of the Western Hemisphere, we're going to be joined by Douglas Preston, who works for National Geographic. He's a writer for National Geographic and The Atlantic, and we're going to talk about a cool book that I just read called the Curse. The Curse of the Monkey God. I'm sorry, Lost City of the Monkey God, which is about Yeah,
We're
what's
talking
up?
about the curse that he got put on him.
Well, he and a number of other people. And I'll tell you, we know that there are so many mysteries in this world, right? There's so many things we don't know. For all the things that we find out, there are more questions.
Mhm.
So for many years in Honduras, there was legend of Ciudad Blanca or the city of the monkey god, all right? And a lot of people said it was just completely fake. It was a flight of fancy. But this guy and a couple others were determined that they had figured out the legend. But this place is one of the most remote on Earth. You can't go. You know why? Because you got like 9-foot fer-de-lance snakes that'll kill you in a millisecond. Just jungle, impenetrable forest. So technology was married with legend. LiDAR was created, which is basically sonar with lasers.
Yeah, essentially, yeah.
Sonar with lasers says they flew over. Boom, it's right where they thought. A lost civilization previously unknown to man. This guy found it. We'll talk to him in the next hour. Also, Matt Peck will join us of sportsmockery.com. We're going to talk a little Bulls, a little sports. All of that here on French and Friends, 1590 WCGO. Mike, we about ready for a blow? All right. One more minute, he says.
So what I really like about what's going on here is essentially with I guess South American foods in general, it's a lot of the same flavors in different packages, and that's what I really like about here. Well, here
Hey,
comes,
dude.
here
What
comes
you
Kevin.
doing,
Go ahead
man?
and do it.
And I tell you what, going back to the lost civilization, I guarantee you it's probably a Cuban selling Cuban sandwiches over there.
No doubt,
Already
dude.
there.
Hey, you got to know what's up. What's the trick? You got to have the good bread. I know that, but what
Oh,
else?
Well, it's like I said, everything goes back to passion, and it's it's all about the right balance of citric, roasting everything, and we nailed it. I think that our guys are doing a phenomenal job. You got to come to 90 miles and try what we're doing.
Now, also, if you got a party, this is your man to cater it. How do they go? How do they find more information instead of just calling you up, which they can do? What's the website?
You know what? I'm going to make Eric a star right here. Why don't he just take over right now?
Eric, tell us that when we come back. All right, we'll talk about catering. French and Friends, 1590 WCGO.
Para meterte con Dorotea. Óigame, compay, no dejes camino por coger la vereda.
You're listening to French and Friends on 1590 WCGO. 100% human, I swear.
French and Friends, 1590 WCGO. Alberto Gonzalez joins us. Eric Esteves. What's up, man? Hey, we were going to ask you about catering before we left. What's going on? How do we get in touch with you?
So you can go to our website, which is 90milescubancafe.com.
Uh-huh. The number 90, right?
Yes, the digits. And it's easier. And then you just click on catering, fill out the information, select which location you want to do. We do baby showers, weddings, everything. Anything you can think of.
Simple. 90milescubancafe.com. Alberto, I was asking you in the break, and I'm going to ask you now. Well, first off, what year did you start the restaurant?
2008.
2000. Okay. That's it?
Yeah.
Not even 10 years yet. It's amazing. Okay, so before that, you had another life, right?
Yeah,
International businessman?
Well, I used to be a mortgage broker prior to being an international.
Are you glad? Are you? Hold on one second. Let me pull this up.
Yeah,
are you
please.
glad you are? You glad you're out of that finance?
You know what? I was in the mortgage business. I built a house, and all of a sudden the whole market crashed. And I was looking at my wife, and I was like, "What are we going to do?"
Mhm.
So we had a line of credit on our property, and we got the line of credit and reinvented ourselves in the restaurant business. And I tell you what, it was very hard at the beginning, but we
Yeah.
were very fortunate. From day one, we were very busy, and then CNN was at our place because they were doing a story on the AIG.
Yeah.
And we had lines wrapped around the building, and then they did a story on us on CNN on Business and Sense, and then I was building the other place, and it kind of blew up. And then the Food Network did a show on us on Diners, Drivers, and Dives. And
Oh,
then,
my boy Guy came up.
yeah,
came
he
over?
did. He did.
Oh,
Yeah, he
that
did
did it for you, huh?
It did it, and we've been ever since all of that happened. We've been just doing the best we can.
Well, just like you said before about being a small business owner, it's the passion, and that's what you can really tell at 90 Miles is the passion.
Yeah.
Everybody there is there because they want to be, not
Exactly.
just collecting a paycheck or anything. Because essentially, we're eating art, and
Thank you.
that's what I really like about 90 Miles is just that is I'm
I'll tell you what.
obviously I'm eating somebody's masterpiece that they actually slaved over and took some consideration in.
When you crisp a plantain, I'm a happy boy. It's one of my favorite things on planet Earth.
It-
Okay,
you
go
know,
ahead.
and one of the things is that it's the passion, but then how the simplicity of it.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes you go to a restaurant, they got all this food, and you're like, okay, where do I start? Or
Right.
should I take a picture of it and post it online? You know, our food is simple. It's just, you know, just love. You don't have
Yeah.
to get too elaborate into anything. It's just
Yeah.
good spice, love, and passion. And put it together.
I love good food, fine dining as much as anybody else. But the one thing that's to me, uh, simple food is better because it's easier to connect with people over a simple dish because you can kind of compare a simple dish from the way you grew up to how your friend grew up, and that to me is where it's at. A good friend of mine is in the restaurant business, also a different kind of restaurant thing, and he said the quest is always for the $10 to $20 range. Like that's what the American market really wants because especially in these harder times, you know, we don't know I'll have the money to go out and spend $80, $120, $150 on a meal.
Yeah.
Dude, that's not happening. So the perfect money spot is about right where you're at.
Thank you.
Okay, the reason I asked about what you did before this is because I want to ask you about your travels. I know you've been all over the world. What are other places? What are other foods that you really dig?
You know, I love Spanish food. You know, my wife Christina, and I, we traveled through Spain, and we kind of like did you know, the whole Spanish thing. And 90
Yeah.
miles came about Spain. We were, you know, we walked into Spain, and we walked into this little tapas, gambas places. And
Yeah.
they were so small, and they had lines all around
Yeah.
the door. And I'm like, we could go back to Chicago and do something like this, but with the Cuban flair.
Yeah,
And I tell you what, we went to work and we created 90 miles on Clybourne.
cool.
And that place right there is the joint. I call it the joint. It's
That's
just
the
a tiny
joint?
little thing. People tell me, why don't you expand it so you can put tables in it? It will never happen. It's going to stay the way it is. I love it. It's just a tiny little place with a lot of love.
Something you just mentioned, and it kind of flipped something in me. A lot of times you see businesses fail when they try to become bigger than they need to be.
Yes.
Sometimes is it okay to not want to be, you know, the king of the world and be a billionaire?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, we are on Lincolnwood, and it's my bigger place.
Sure, it's a pretty big joint.
It's a pretty big place, and you know we're doing a great job getting, you know, being busy. But you know, at the end of the day, you have the scare factor that you're like, you know, you're thinking, should I just gone smaller? Was this a good choice? You know, it's proven that it's been a good choice for us. But you know, it's a scary situation. So I would recommend for people to just be very cautious and just kind of grow smaller and just very controlled.
Yeah. Well said. French and Friends, 1590 WCGO. Alberto Gonzalez, 90milescubancafe.com. 3 locations. The one in Lincolnwood with Alligator Room is super cool. Obviously, on Clybourne, it's, you know, legend. That's the joint, he says. French and Friends, WCGO. Eric, thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Alberto, thank you. And
Thank you.
Catering, you got parties coming up. That's the spot. 90milescubancafe.com. Did I get it right?
If you're hungry, we'll
Yes.
feed you.
Okay, that's a good idea. Thank you, guys.